Welcome to today's webinar about NetTutor. NetTutor is one of the tutoring options we provide to students. NetTutors are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what I'm going to do today is outline to you and show you how to find this service and how to navigate through the service so that you can become more comfortable and use it at any time you need. As you can see here on this page, we have several subjects that are offered. The most that are used are obviously probably what you're thinking, writing and math. But we have many other subjects that you can choose from, whether it's chemistry, biology, physics, accounting, reading, and even second languages or foreign languages like Spanish, French, and German. So let's go ahead and get started. And first, I am going to show you how to log in to find NetTutor. You can do this by getting into D2L. There are two different options to find the NetTutor button. One of those is on the global home page. As you can see here, there is a NetTutor widget that provides a blue button where you can click on it that says Go to NetTutor. This widget is also available in your course homepage. So the global homepage is the first homepage that you see when you enter D2L. And then when you click on your particular class, that is the course homepage. And that is also where you can find this widget, and you would go directly to that blue button that says Go to NetTutor. Now, once you click on that button, it may ask you to log in again, which is completely fine. Please go ahead and do that. Put in your same username and password that you would use to enter MyPima or D2L. Next, it'll have a screen like this that gives you a little bit more information. It's a welcome, right? And it says that you can use up to 10 hours of NetTutor tutoring each semester. I do want to highlight that if you want to go over 10 hours each semester, all you have to do is email us and we would gladly provide more hours to you. Please go ahead and follow the email here on the screen, pcc-onlinetutor@pima.edu. And in that request, put your name and a number and that you would like more hours to use for NetTutor. Let's see. So again, it has 10 hours, and if you want more, you can definitely get that. Next, you would click on the Continue button. And this is where you are able to choose the subject for the tutoring that you would like to receive. And as on the first slide, we have many different options. We're going to go straight into the live writing tutor and paper center so that you can see what that looks like. And then a little bit later, we'll also view what the math tutor area looks like as well. Okay. You can see here, I wanted to show you some of the subjects, but on the right-hand side, right here, we actually have math that's broken into 3 different areas. So make sure that you choose the correct math that you are currently in and that you would like tutoring for. Next, after we click in that area, we have different options. And this is one of the great services about NetTutor is that you can either drop in and meet with a live tutor. You could drop off a paper if you have chosen the writing area, or you can drop off a question. So let's review what this looks like for each of these areas. Okay, so the first one we're going to click on is drop in and meet with a live tutor. Now, before I do that, I do have a mention here is what is your locker? Down here on the very bottom, it actually lists your live writing tutor and paper center locker. I will explain what this is a little bit later, but basically it's a repository of all of the work that you do in NetTutor and all the services you receive. Okay, so we'll go into that in more detail. But let's go ahead and drop in and meet with a live tutor. So once you click on that button, you can see this screen, and sometimes a tutor is not available right away. It will indicate to you how many minutes you have until you can meet with a live person, okay? In that time, you want to read the description, and something to consider is that you do want to keep this window open. So even if you're going back to different parts on your computer or on your phone, you want to make sure that you do not close this window or log out in some way, okay? You definitely want to make sure that your volume is up on your computer because they will need to hear you if that's a service that you would like to use when you're meeting with a live tutor. It's an easy way where you can talk back and forth with the tutor. Okay, and just to note that your session will be private. When it's over, you can actually review it in the locker. So again, I'll show you that here in a minute. And hopefully you won't have to wait long. It really depends on the time of the semester and maybe even the time of the day. So if you do need to wait, you can, like you said, or like I said, go to a different tab, do something else, and then check back in. You may want to have the volume up just in case they come in earlier than expected. You will hear a bell when they are available to meet with you. Okay. If you do not want to wait, maybe it's too many minutes, they actually list here right below that you could drop off your question instead. And in the writing area, you actually have an opportunity to drop off your paper. And this is a wonderful resource. This is probably used the most by our college in the writing area. And a good recommendation to make that I would like to share with you is that you do want to actually submit a draft or even a final copy of the paper. You do not want to give them an outline. It needs to be fully written out, and it can be a simple draft. Maybe it's your first draft, but that is best practice for them to be able to help you. Okay. So let's go ahead and click in that area. You do need to give the paper a name, a specific name, something that will help you know which paper it's referring to. And then you also want to give a description about the paper. And I want to show you an example of that because the more information you give them, the better they are at providing feedback. So here's an example, and it's a little small, so I'll just tell you what it's saying if you cannot read it correctly. It's actually giving the rubric. So some instructors may provide a rubric in how they will grade or review your paper, and you can definitely give this tutor that information in the description area. That would be very helpful to them to be able to assist you, right? Then you go ahead and click Next. And it also asks you what are 2 specific areas of feedback that you would like from the tutor. Now, this is where you want to give it some thought. You want to choose wisely, right? Because you cannot click all of these. You can only choose 2. So is it specific that you want feedback on your grammar and mechanics, or maybe it's on your citations and references? Or it could even be something like sentence structure, or is my thesis statement looking correct in what I've put in already. There are some considerations you want to think about also is when you have your first draft or your final draft, it's always nice to read it aloud to yourself because some of this may be able to help you correct without the tutor, and then you can ask them for different feedback. You also can use Grammarly.com, or you can use Microsoft spelling and grammar check tools as well. So these are different options. So maybe you wouldn't have to get their feedback on grammar. You could get it on something more specific related to the topic or the structure of the paper. You want to provide to them what citation style you are needing from the instructor's directions, and also the paper type. And how long should the paper be? So please answer all of these areas, all of these questions before you click on Next. Then you need to actually upload the paper. So you click in the Choose a File. It will open up your computer, and then you need to select the file. So make sure you already have your paper downloaded and in your computer area so that you can upload it. As you can see with the highlighted circle here, you know it has been attached when it is listed here. And then the next part is you would drop off your paper and click on that button. So it will say your paper has been submitted, and usually you will need to wait about 24 hours for the feedback. Now, this is a good consideration to remember because you do not want that to affect when you can turn in the assignment. Please give yourself plenty of time to receive the feedback before the due date. And it can be maybe a little longer than 24 hours or even a little less. So again, it depends on the time of day you submit it or maybe even the time of the semester as well. Okay. Then I did want to show you, like I mentioned earlier, what the locker looks like. So we actually went through several of the areas, dropping off a paper, meeting with a live tutor, and then what is a locker? And so a locker, you can see here, it records and it shows you your previous tutoring sessions that you've had within this subject. So you can always go to each of the subjects and go to the locker associated with that subject so that you're able to find previous sessions. You can download PDF files of the sessions or you can view the video. You can also see what questions, the feedback that you got on any questions you may have dropped off, and paper feedback as well. So it's a repository. It's a way where you can find what information you asked them to review. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the math area because that is probably the second most used tutoring for NetTutor. And in this area, it is a little bit different than the writing section. So what they do is when you click on the math area, you will see this screen here. And they actually have two videos that can help you understand uploading math to the whiteboard. So maybe giving them a problem that you're needing help in working through, and also how to use the tools on the whiteboard. And so it is interactive when you're meeting with a live math tutor, which is very helpful. So please, if you're interested, you can watch those videos before you go into a session with a live math tutor. It looks very similar, though, to the writing area, although there is one that is not listed here. You do not or will not drop off a paper, right? Because that's in the different subject. So in the math area, you can drop in and meet with a live tutor, or you can drop off a question. You also have your locker as well, okay? So you would have two choices to choose here. I did want to show you that over in the top right corner of NetTutor, when you're in the system, you have an area that shows your name. It also has drop-in tutoring hours and customer support. If you click on your name, it actually gives you an area where you can check your wallet. And the reason I wanted to show you that is because your wallet tells you how many minutes you have left and how many sessions you've actually done with a tutor. And I did put a cross, or I X'd out of the area where you could request more because we would like you to email us. And so again, I put the email down here at the bottom, pcc-onlinetutor@pima.edu, if you would like to receive more than 10 hours of tutoring per semester, okay? But your wallet is a good area to go to see how many minutes you have left and how many sessions you've done. If you click on the drop-in tutoring hours section, this is a very important area to look at if you're interested in meeting with a live tutor in any of the subjects. So when you're in the subject, you can click on this area and then it will show you the hours for the writing and paper center if you're in that area, or if you were in math, it would show you the drop-in tutoring hours for math, basically. You can see they have it Monday through Sunday, okay? But the hours may change depending on the subject. So you may want to check here before clicking on Meet with a Live Tutor, just so your expectation is met in when you would be able to meet with someone. Okay, that is a review of how to use NetTutor and what areas they provide for you in tutoring. Again, it's really nice for you to be able to meet with a live tutor, to drop off a question or to drop off a paper, and then to see any recordings or sessions you've done in the past. But to go ahead and log out of the system, you would go back up to your name, There is an area below Wallet, Log Out, and then now you're logged out of the system, okay? So, I would like to provide you my information. My name is Jackie Allen. I'm the Director of Online Student Success, and my email, if you would like to connect with me, is jallen, ALLEN 24 @pima.edu. Thank you for joining us today.